I fixing it or? All right, let's see. Is this working? That's working. Oh, hey friends, how are ya? Just hanging out. Window. There we go. That's what I need there. So I started this broadcast channel on Instagram, and in the broadcast channel, I think it's on my profile. You guys can go take a look at that. But yeah, in that I share some behind the scenes stuff and all that stuff. So it's cool. You get some pictures. You get some stuff from moi. Anyway, I let me see here. Hold on here. Let me just double check. Something happened in here. That's an old song. Look at me. Yeah, Adam, come back to DC. But yeah, what's my Instagram live setup? Oh, so it's kind of weird. It is kind of a mess. So I don't know if I can share it. My wife's gonna be like, "What? You shared your messy desk?" I'm just a busy guy. So, but I have a. I'll just name off my gear. A7S3 for the camera. It goes into a teleprompter. And then I use Ecamm Live to do all my live streams, to do my consultation calls, mentorships, all that stuff. I do a Rodecaster. I have a Rodecaster Pro 2 connected to a Shure SM7B mic. Got a couple of Elgato key lights. And few all my other lights back there and stuff is what was that called? It's like these tube lights. They're kind of like a knockoff nan light Pavlo tubes. Godox, I think Godox. So uh yeah, so that's pretty much it, and everything's going through my MacBook Pro. uh I do have an iPad Pro in front of me as well. My teleprompter, it's off of a iPad Mini, um, connected to my computer via Luna display. Yeah. So, and yeah, but my iPad Pro in front of me, that's mostly for telecasting, telestration. So when I'm doing my coaching calls, I can go ahead and mark stuff down. Let me see. I think I can actually show it. Oh, I'm gonna open up the app first. How about that? I think one of the coolest things is using with Ecamm Live. It's using all of the so much great features on there. Let me see. Let me see if I have something that I could just pull up for y'all. It's gonna look weird, especially on Instagram, because it's in 9:16. But let me see if does this play at all or open up the app for that doesn't matter. How about that? Let me go here. Okay. I think I can just add the layer here. Coolest things is using with E. Hearing myself back. It's using all of the so much. Hold on here, guys. Just mute that. So I use a software called Video Pencil with my iPad that allows me to do telestration stuff. And what I mean by that is I can go here and take, let's see, Video Pencil. That's what it is. There. Let me toss that out. cross that out. I can actually draw on my iPad, and it should show up in a second here. So it's really cool. I get to draw on it. So basically, I'm using this as a tool to show, when I'm going over other streams from my mentors, mentees, I'm able to actually go through it and telestrate to it. Tell them, hey, maybe move the camera up here. Make sure you tilt there. That kind of a deal. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Video Pencil. It's really, really cool. It's just set up through the iPad. The app does all the magic, and I think it's free, or it's like $8. So it's really, really nice. So yeah. Let me go on here. I got a question on YouTube. Any tips or tricks when purchasing an LED wall that will be used for broadcasting to? If you can get a denser pixel pitch, the better. Try not to, it comes with budget. So, but yeah, when just a smaller pixel pitch, that helps. There's some other things as well that is beyond me. It's more our systems guys, people like, oh, I see Drake. What's up, Drake? I don't know if you're still in here, but yeah, Drake Couch, they know a lot more on that. So yeah. So that's my local streaming setup here. Yeah. Let me see. Cal, what's up, man? What ways do the teams you lead intentionally try to be different to the industry? So honestly, the main difference is I'm not out to build a great production team, video production team, film team. I'm out to build a family, and I create a safe environment for them to fail. I talk to them a lot of knowing whose they are in the Father, and really just I think the biggest thing I've noticed is just safe place. It's a safe place. Create that safe place. There's always a standard to uphold, so it's not like it's a free for all. Like, yeah, I can do whatever I want, and it's always going to be good. But there's just something in creating a place where people can be themselves. They're not afraid to really. Kobe, what's up, man? They're not afraid to really try new things because they know that if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We laugh at it if it looks silly or something, and we move on. But yeah, so that's how we're trying to be different from the industry, and it's hard too because there's a lot of places that are, it's not a, I guess I could say, toxic environment. It's not the best environment, especially in church production still. And a lot of it just because, leaders, we come with our own traumas, our own deals, and if we don't deal with it, it can really get to us, and we can lead out of, how we were raised. If we were raised in a crazy disciplinary home, so there's a whole lot to it, but for the most part, it's trying to create people, raise up people, I should say, to actually know whose they are in the Father. And out of that, one of the biggest things that I say a lot is that I have nobody to impress because the Father's already impressed with me. So I'm not looking to I'm going to try to do this. Yes, I'm human. So there's an aspect where I am going to definitely make sure that, I'm doing a good job because I do, as a human, like when I receive praise. However, I know that I got nothing to prove to anybody because the Father is already impressed with me. My family, my wife, my son, they love me and they're impressed with me, and even in my darkest hours, I should say. So kind of creating that environment is, I think, what separates us the most from most people. So yeah. Andrew, what company do I recommend? I would seriously. There's a few great integrators out there, um, but I would honestly either hit up the integrators that helped us with TC and our control room, diversified, or Lad Designs with Drake Couch. He's a good friend of mine, and they do really really great work as well. Um, yeah. All right. Let's see. Got some stuff. I was gonna answer like all of these other questions, but that I had from my little BTS channel. So how would I go? Okay, I'll do this on Facebook. How would I go? Uh, how would I go better talking to people about who they are and how to talk to them? So I actually found this really great book. It's called Experiencing the Father's Embrace by Jack Frost. And really it takes you on this journey of discovering that we see the world in which we were raised, and through that there's hurts, there's things, our parents, they only know what they know, so sometimes they fall short. And so uh they this book really just helps guide you through a journey of really realizing whose you are in the Father, how much you're loved. I could literally go and quit my job today, cut grass for the rest of my life. Now, I would be probably going running away from my calling, right? And so I would be miserable. But or who knows? I could be, you find joy, you have to find the joy in everything, right? So I could do that, go and cut grass for the rest of my life, and the Father would still love me just as much as he loves everyone, just as he loves me now. So yeah. uh cool. I don't know if I'm frozen on, am I frozen in Facebook? It's been weird, the internet. I don't know, it's just been this area the past 2 days. The app is called Video Pencil. I'm gonna actually put it down in the chat here because I think I'm frozen on Instagram. So okay. Hi, what's up, man? Love you, miss you guys. Um, Jose, where's your first, capture second? Yeah. So the let's see. How does the Venice compare to the F5500? It's fairly close. There's differences that you can see within uh color and white balance. Sometimes if it's just a little off, you can see, just with any camera, right? But I found it to be fairly close. Like it's nice. Again, the Rialto system I think has really changed the game for us at TC. So having that backpack, and we can have that Rialto system that comes out. We can pop the lens on that little sensor frame. Uh, it's been great, and it's been a lot easier for us to even. It is a heavy unit still, right? It packs a punch, but it's been a lot easier for us to get a lot of our female video volunteers, cam ops, to actually get into the handheld game and learn how to use handheld for cinematic broadcasts and things like that. So yeah. uh Cal moved over here instead. That's great. So how am I doing this? Broadcasting to Instagram. Uh, so coming out of all this stuff, Ecamm Live and all that stuff, it goes through Instagram now. If you go to Instagram.com on a computer, you'll actually be able to. Most people will actually be able to live stream from your local computer. Plug your stream key and things like that into your program. Since I'm using the good old Ecamm. Let me see here. I wanted to. It's gonna be a little hard to do actually on Instagram. So, am I doing the mentorship program next year? Yes, I do it every quarter. So, there's always a summer, fall, winter, and spring mentorship. Just keep a lookout on Instagram. That's usually where I post the most. So, I would say maybe mid to late November, I'll be advertising or maybe yeah, mid to late November. I'll be advertising for the next group of classes to start probably in January ish. Uh, Probably the end of January. We do 21 days of prayer and fasting every at the top of the year. So 21 days straight of streaming. That's always a fun one. So if your church does that, by the way, if your church does 21 days of prayer and fasting or any type of, hey, we're going to, 7 days of prayer and fasting, and you guys are not broadcasting it, I would suggest that you broadcast your prayer and fasting times. One, everybody's going to be praying and fasting, joining you online, right? But two, it is a great opportunity to train your team. It's probably, I've seen more high level volunteers come out of our 21 days of prayer and fasting and our 7 days of prayer and fasting that we do every year uh, than any other time we've actually been, had trainings and stuff like that. So yeah, if you guys can train your teams on these nights when you're doing your prayer and fasting nights. If you're not streaming your prayer and fasting nights, if you guys do like a corporate church fast for like, hey, we're gonna fast for 21 days. If you guys are doing that, go ahead and talk to your leadership of, hey, can we broadcast that? And you might not need to. I mean, you might not broadcast every night, but you can broadcast a few of them so that way you can get your team more trained. You can get your team really more comfortable in all of that. So yeah, it's one of those things that when I first got here, it was like, oh my gosh, 21 days straight. And, not thinking about the fasting part, right? I'm thinking about the actual work part. But it has changed the game for just the trajectory of my family, my own life. So yeah, it's a great way to train your teams. What's up? Aloha, brother. Um, Let me there's some questions here that some people were asking in my broadcast channel on Instagram, so I'll just go through. um Let me see here. Ba-ba-ba-ba. If you do subscribe to, it's completely free on this broadcast channel deal. But yeah, if you do, again, you'll see some behind the scenes stuff that I post, and things like that. How to grow a passionate team. I would, again, going back to actually creating a safe environment for your team, letting them know your heart, letting them know that, they actually matter. One of the biggest things that I talk to the team about a lot is that I do not ever take their yes for granted. Some of them, they are coming from a car breaking down, and they had to Uber to church just so they can serve because they want to serve. They want to be a part of the team. They want to be a part of helping out, reaching the people, right? So I don't ever discount their yes. So I constantly remind them of that. And really tell them your why you are there. Tell them your team's why, find a why for your team. There's 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 a lot of tangible evidence that can be gathered from your live stream chats, things like that. People that were touched because, you know, they were able to tune in. There's countless of stories of people. I am one of them. I have testimonies of me in the hospital on full time oxygen, all this stuff plugged in. Pretty much losing my life, and I'm able to tune in to watch Transformation Church and Bethel Church, and really just get filled from that. So, yeah, share your why, talk to your team, uh, tell them how grateful you are for them being there. So, yeah. Can I do a mentoring? So, yeah, my mentorship program covers everything. My mentorship program covers camera op, volunteer leadership, directing, yeah, all of that. So let's see here. Favorite camera for live broadcast. Ooh, that's a hard one. Man, that's a tough one. Uh, I'm sorry. I gotta say, Sony. Um, I know there's a lot of different ones out there. I've used Blackmagic Reds. But honestly, just the the quality of the image, the color science, the ease of us being able to quickly white balance and uh, chip cameras has been so much. Uh, uh, I can't think of the word, but it's been great. Like it's been amazing. So Sony all the way for me. Um, yeah, and especially in our environment because we change our stage out. We do different things. Lighting changes constantly. So having a really good system where the color science is really good um, is awesome. Let's see here. How to help your camera ops maximize a small space. Utilize two things. One, movement. So you're constantly what there. It kind of goes hand in hand. Okay, so you have your movement, right, where you're either walking towards the subject, walking towards a guitar, for instance, wrapping around a guitar. One thing in a smaller stage that you really have to watch out for is that boat sway. So when you're on the guitar and you're trying to get some movement out of that on your handheld, you don't want to just keep going like this, you know, because eventually I'm on a boat, right? I don't want to get seasick. So maximizing that, if that small space by kind of going in and seeing if you can wrap around a little bit, or um, you take the what was that? Focus pulling. Yeah, you focus pull. So as you're going in, you're coming from a blurry image, and you're slowly pulling into focus as you go towards your subject, towards the guitar, for instance. So play around with focus pulling from guitar to drums or keys to a reverse shot of the worship leader. So even in small spaces, you can still get movement out of it. You can still get really cool things. So yeah, cool shots in small environments. A couple more questions came in live here. Let me see. Blackmagic 6K Studio camera. Um, I like Blackmagic stuff. We use Blackmagic stuff at TC before we had our control room built. I used Blackmagic stuff over at Bethel. I think the biggest thing for me is the low light performance and sensor size. I think the 6K studios are the 6K studios. Let me see here. Blackmagic Design. They did pretty decent in low light, I gotta say. Um, so even when we were using them over at, the 6K studios are gonna be good. Those micro studios though are iffy for me. It's that micro four thirds sensors that for me it's just doesn't do enough. Doesn't pack enough of a punch. Best live streaming platform, hands down, I gotta go with Resi. I'm sorry. If I could afford it myself, I'd probably be streaming from a Resi box right now. Yeah, just the ease of use, the ease of reprogramming stuff, so that way you can do rebroadcasting, the buffer time, which I still wish that we could have a user option so that we can turn it on and off, so that if we wanted to do an actual like live moment, we could. But the it's amazing. It's an amazing piece of tech. The coolest thing was, I think it was my first couple months at Transformation when I first got on staff. We were live streaming, and it was bad weather. I think it like iced over the night before or something like that. But we were live streaming, and the internet went out. And the internet went out for like 10 minutes, I think. So because we were using Resi, our live stream basically just paused on YouTube, and so the chat was still going. People were like, praying, like, okay, let's get this go, But then as soon as the internet came back on, it literally just picked up where it left off. So they didn't miss any of the message. The people that were walking at home, watching at home, I'd say. So yeah, Resi hands down. Um, OBS is great as well. I mean, there, a lot of times people will put down certain pieces of gear and tech. It's all in how you use it, what you can use it for. It's at the end of the day, gear doesn't really matter. It's the people that use them and how well the people uses them. So awesome. What's up, guys? Let's see. Key things to know about directing. Um, for me, I always talk about this where I'm never directing where I'm cutting to the beat a lot, or to like every 4 beats or every 8 beats. Those are thrown in there, but for the most part, I am actually listening to the chord progressions, and I'm, whenever they go to a different chord, that's when I'll take the cut. Or when they are hitting, I'm a drummer, so when Tony's hitting that snare, boom, I'll cut on the snare hit on that downbeat. Sometimes on an upbeat, just depends on how the moment is feeling in the story that I kind of want to weave through and tell. So as far as directing goes, really learn how to listen to music, learn how to listen and pull apart uh, instruments within the song. Like, oh, they're hitting cymbals at this part, I'm gonna cut on that part. Uh, this kind of goes into, as a director, listening to the set list, listening to the songs ahead of time throughout the week, trying to get in your head how you're actually going to cut uh, the service, things like that. So those are some quick things to uh, to note. I think one of the things that we have to get used to as directors, and it just comes with time, is looking ahead. So there are moments when I'm still trying to find a good way to really record me calling a service with our multi-view in this with our new setup. But there are moments when I'm saying, okay, I'm going to go to 7, 4, and then 2. One, it kind of helps set your cam ops up so that they know that you're going to go to them next. And 2, it kind of helps also really have them like, okay, if he's on camera 1, then one's framed up that way, I'm going to frame my camera up this way because I know he's coming to me next. And then so it kind of gives you they kind of have that, give them that option, I should say. Yeah, cool. Let's see. Successful. What has been my most successful team building experience or exercise? uh Getting together, breaking bread, having community, um really just having them know your heart as much as possible. Share what God's been working on in your own life. Be really open with them. I'm like, hey, you know what, this week I was struggling with anger, and the Lord was showing me some scriptures on this and all that stuff. And then the other thing I would say, we haven't, I will say that we are getting there. It's just been crazy different roles and transitions that's been happening uh, at TC for the production side, and me going over to film. So we had all these plans, and then we kind of like, okay, we gotta kind of push it off just a little bit to go later on towards the year. But to start like doing worship nights, to really start gathering with our production team and just having a time of worship and prayer. We do that. I will say we do every Sunday. We huddle up as a production team and pray together. Ask for if there's anybody that needs prayer and things like that. So we're there. But for me, I want to take it up a notch and actually do a worship night and just have our production team really get together to worship the Father. So uh let's see. which advice can you give for a beginning director to follow? So I kind of mentioned that just a few minutes ago. Let's see. Uh, and so just go back after this. I'll put it back up on Instagram so you can watch it. Thomas, hey, what's up, Thomas? Do you do a countdown to the next cam? No. So it kind of goes into uh, all the camera ops. They all have to. There's a few rules. I call them my 7 rules to live by in my sandbox. And so there's a few rules. If you ever been to one of my talks of me talking at a conference, things like that, you'll know these rules. Or if you're on our team, but one is being usable 100% of the time. Now that's not a hard set rule, but it is something that I ask them to. Hey, if you're gonna walk from one place to the other, walk in a way that if I see something, I want to take it and I can take it. So they basically do everything with intentionality of knowing that they could be live at any moment. So yeah, let's see here. There's a damaged pixel beside my mouth. That's just my mouth, and I got busted mouth. I'm just kidding. It could be the stream. I've been having like crazy issues. I think there's something going on with my DNS. So something I'm trying to figure out. Let's see. Somebody asking again, how am I streaming this clean? That's great. Yes, third-party software through Instagram.com. Let's see here. What's the best wireless comm system? I may have froze up again. I don't know if it's just me or it's happening. But anyway, I'll keep answering questions because this will be replayed. Where'd it go? What's the best wireless comm system for a director 5 to 10 camera operators? I'll go off of budget wise, right? You have your EarTechs, you have your Unity comms. Unity comms is kind of cool because you actually do a server on your like a Mac. I think it's only Mac. It might be PC as well, but you can use your own phone to do comms with a pair of AirPods. So that's kind of cool for those that are on a budget. EarTech is okay. You definitely don't have really clean, crisp audio, especially in louder environments. Clearcom system, which we use, and it is really great just for multiple channels, to have multiple channels open. I actually listen to 4 different channels as I'm calling. So I'll listen to the engineering channel, the production party line, the event party line, and then my cam op party line. And then on top of that, I have the click track. I have the guide, the music guide that the musicians listen to, that I usually have on. I do have the option if I need to actually throw on the music director's mic into my ears as well, so that I can, if there's any moment where I kind of like, okay, where are we going? Musically, if Pastor Mike's up there and he's flowing, I can actually go in and actually kind of, assess the situation and be able to cut better. So yeah, Clearcom is great. The wireless system for Clearcom is the FreeSpeak 2 system. Now, I haven't used it yet, and hopefully one day I can. But the Riedel Bolero system, I have heard nothing but amazing things about it. And that's your like top of the line. I know RTS does too. RTS is really in the broadcast industry is huge. But like, yeah. So those things. Yeah, Jay, I know. It's the stream. I don't know what's going on with my stream right now. Or my internet. Why did I decide to stream right now? Cool. Let's see here. Best digital console when upgrading from analog to digital. I think that's more of audio. Um so yeah, we use Yamaha Yamaha PM10s, I believe. I'm a video guy, so. And then back at Bethel, most other places of your larger churches are doing Digico. So what do you do during rehearsals and sound check? So we have the unique ability to actually do a full dress rehearsal Sunday mornings before going live. So during that time, it's really just kind of getting a feel for how the songs are going to go, how our transitions are going to go. It's a full dress, meaning we act as if we're live and we are firing off all our videos, lower thirds, all of that stuff as if we were live. So it's really cool to be able to have that and really just honestly, it's like creating a playbook and just like, okay, we can kind of do this and this. I don't typically block out shots. That's not the right word. I'm a little tired, so but I don't typically do it. There are moments when I'm like, oh, actually, on this part of the song, I'm gonna come to you when we're live. So go ahead and put that in your pocket. So, how do you disconnect from paying attention to technical aspects while a member in the congregation? So, the biggest thing that I had to learn was a very poignant moment in my life when the Lord asked me, "Are you worshiping out of the posture of your heart versus the preference of your heart?" And this went into everything because I was listening to a song, and I was like, oh, I don't know if this is a worship song. Like, this is, it's written by a Christian. All this stuff, right? CCM. A lot of times like, CCM stuff, right? But how I had to learn how do I personally worship in that, right? Because I needed worship from the posture of my heart versus the preferences of my heart. So it goes the same when I'm going into another church. I am actually, I'll look at him like, oh man, they missed that, things like that. But I completely, I kind of go, I find, so there's two things to this too, because I'm still working on it, right? The preference of my heart. So I'm actually looking to go to, churches that I know that, have either the same technology that I'm used to or things like that, so that I know that it's going to be less of a distraction, or go to a church that has zero technology, right? Then there's not really much of a distraction. I'm just there to worship, right? So kind of going into that, looking at like, oh, I'll notice stuff for sure, right? After all these years of doing what I do, but kind of going back into like, well, no, I'm actually here to worship. I'm actually here to be really present in the moment with my family, things like that. So just like it's a constant reminder. And the biggest thing is making sure that we are really just worshiping everything we do, worshiping out of the posture of our heart versus the preference of our heart. So, yeah. All right. How long have I been on here? Let me see. All right, we'll probably do like five more minutes. So, I said, yeah, I started the stream off, Rafa, on. I started the stream off basically talking about how I'm streaming. So it's through Ecamm Live. I got a A7S III camera there, and I am streaming through Ecamm Live to Instagram via Instagram's website. So Instagram now, for most people, I don't know how they're rolling it out, but for most people, they are pretty much getting the what? Oh, okay. Sorry, my wife came home, so I'm gonna get off soon. Oh yeah, that house. She was like, the house is freezing. I'm like, oh, the climate in the house is cold. So yeah, Instagram. Most people can go to Instagram.com. You hit the plus sign, and it'll say live stream, and so you can live stream from that. And Ecamm is the software that I am using. Hi Shorty. We want the Bolero. Yes, we do. Um, biggest physiolo. I can't read or talk. Biggest fizzle. Wow. What? Why am I having? I say it all the time. Philosophical shift in how you direct from Bethel to TC. Um, I will tell you this. There was not much of a shift because I am who I am, and TC hired me because I am who I am. They honestly didn't hire me for my gifts or talents. That was just a plus. They actually hired me as someone that loves the Father, knows how well he is loved by the Father. So I direct out of that place, and so there was not much of a shift there. Now, if you're talking about style wise, definitely, we are a lot more time centric here. We did pay attention to time at Bethel. However, here, we have everything has the is in planning center. Everything is like, hey, we're doing this next for this for 5 minutes. Then we're gonna go to here, and then we're gonna do our worship songs. Now, after the worship songs, we do just like Bethel. We put into planning center. Hey, this is gonna be a worship flow moment. We don't know how long it's gonna go because the Lord's gonna take over. So yeah, awesome. But yeah, I will say this too. I think one of the biggest things was really being able to kind of be more of myself by being more at Transformation, mainly because I grew up playing gospel. I'm a gospel drummer. Uh, Worship leading for me when I do worship leading, it is a little bit of both, right? But it was really cool to be at a place that was even more like Bethel's really great at being open to creativity and all of that stuff. Uh, but because of the style, and every church has their own stream, right? So, but being able to be at some place where I could really be as creative as I want to be has been uh, really amazing. Uh, Jay, do you guys use jibs? Yes, I have two jibs and a cable cam. Uh, do I think jibs are? I don't think they're a thing of the past. I love jibs, and obviously that's part of my first love too. Um, uh, at Bethel, I started off on worked my way up to jib, basically, I should say. So yeah, and I just love it. So yeah, I'm a big fan of jibs. We still use jibs. I got two jibs, and we have a cable cam as well. There are certain things that um, honestly a cable cam can't get that only a jib can get. There are these moments where you can get these really beautiful, smooth wraparounds, you know, slow, nice, beautiful moments without uh that you can't get from a cable cam or honestly a drone. So yeah, Matt, what's up, man? Well, all right, guys. I got like more questions on here, but my family's home from the birthday party that they were at, and so uh I am gonna shut everything down. I think I answered this. I answered this too, but I want to answer this on here real quick. What does Sabbath look like for me? Sabbath looks like completely disconnecting it looks like only having a, you know, a look at my work stuff if I absolutely have to, which is right before I go to bed on Saturday nights. Take a look real quick. Okay, I can know what's happening in the morning. Other than that, I try as much as I can to completely disconnect. Try not to work. Now there are moments in busy seasons when you have to, you have to go with the flow. If I can't take my Sabbath, my full Sabbath, then find another moment. This all kind of goes into staying connected with the Father, staying connected with His heart, staying connected with your own worship, with worshiping with your family, things like that. So, just making sure that on my Sabbath, it's really just rest, family time, and doing a lot of chores. My wife's got that list. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so yeah, cool guys. All right. What am I most looking forward to doing or working technically upcoming season? Uh, Honestly, I'll be honest with you, man. We got this like bottle. Somebody gifted us this like really expensive like bottle, baby bottle like cleaner thing, and that's what I'm most looking forward to. So, we are gonna be having our baby here within the next couple of months. So, I think, yeah, next couple months. So, but yeah, that's what I'm looking. That's what I'm actually looking the most forward to right now. So, oh shoot, you guys keep asking at the wrong time. I've got to get out. What projects do you have coming up on the film side of things? Uh, we got some really cool stuff that we're going to be shooting just for really just to keep up. So one of the things, yeah, we do have a lot of like different film projects that we have lined up or things that we're doing for the other ministries of the church or promotional videos for sermon series and things like that. But one of the things we're going to start to move into is really getting into the habit of just going out and being creative and filming stuff. So whether that's us going outside to film somebody's testimony, that from someone we just met from the church, that came and shared with us their testimony, things like that, or just trying to do creative stuff and just shooting stuff, really. So, but the next big thing is probably a promo for our Christmas series. So yeah, and that's gonna be really cool too because I am doing I'm gonna be testing out some Nan like products. So look for that in conjunction in a partnership with Church Production Magazine. So we're gonna be testing out some products for Nan Light. It's gonna be really cool. And yeah, so yeah, thanks, Philip. So cool, guys. Awesome. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Um, I would say I'd be back. I'll be back. Well, actually, I might live stream from one of our rehearsals next week. I don't know. So and show you as little as possible. So, uh, but yeah, thanks everybody, and I will see you guys next time.